I caught you in time, my feisty sweet. Oh god. Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. So in the last episode, Rumpel was trying to prove to Lucette that he's actually a doctor because she's questioning his motives and whatever. But aside from that, there have been rumors spreading around in the castle about what's going on with Lucette's father, and we all know it's Shady Mythros and Alcaster. So let's see what happens now. I quickly finished my chores and returned to my room, where I lay on my bed contemplating tomorrow. Cannot believe Bria wrote back to me. Tomorrow I will meet with her and hopefully she will agree to give me his journals. I feel like she wouldn't. I feel like she's gonna like do something. Like, I want something in return for these journals. I hope this works. For Rumpel's sake. Chapter 8! Shit. What does that say? I can't read it because of the font. Okay, well, I don't even know. Today I'm outside by myself. I think if my friend Dolora knew, they would do worse than scold me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit in the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her at. A part of me is already convinced that she will not come. When I wrote to her that letter asking for Rumpel's journal and she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have. Oh god. The only chance you'll have to what? Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether unpleased but still not smiling. Nothing. Do not like her, but I will have to play nice if I want to get Rumpel's journals back. Thank you for meeting me outside here. Bria takes a seat in front of me. Her expression is still flat. You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak to Rumpel, and then you told me you wanted to meet with me to find out why. You want the journals too, don't you? She reaches into her bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumpel's. That's the thing. She could be lying. Like, you know what I mean? She could be like it could be some random ass book. It couldn't even be a journal, you know? So she does have them. I know in your eyes, I must seem like a villain, but I'm not the only one at fault in this relationship. Years ago, when I met Rumpel, he was, as he is now, flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still made my heart sore. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumpel is far from it. I pinned him after for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumpel always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets. In exchange, I would sew him some sort of article of clothing. I could see he's still wearing the scarf I made him. That scarf was from Bria? Ooh, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, he says he's not in love with her, but I think in some way he has to be, you know what I mean? Because they were engaged. Like, you don't really forget that, so... We fell in love. Rumpel became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but her expression falls again and she looks obscenely down at the table. We saw in each other ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth I only knew the very surface of Rumpel. The surface? I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then, as time went on, I also saw what that meant. The world is a place where the only strong survive. People are kind, but then they will take advantage of those who are too caring. That sounds like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. In a realistic way of looking at the world, dismissal of cloudy and that it's impossible to see any light within it. Rumpel helped out a lot of people. Many of them were wonderful people, and I was always happy to see him do so much. But then, he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty. Oh, that's right, because he didn't take any money from his patients. He just helped them for free. I mean, it's good that he wants to help, but at the same time, he's not taking care of himself either, so that's not good. I look at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury of so much money. Then I recall the feeling of living poor on the street and flinch. We had a house and a reputation, but Rumpel refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also dried out our wallets. And whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile, as if he could just get rid of all our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor for minimal money, sometimes for free. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. He was so selfless that he became selfish. And I told him before that he should have accepted money, that he needed it. So selfless, he became selfish. I had to go behind his back and find payment. What I was making wasn't enough. So I went to find his patients and try to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation? Rumple put his patients before Bria. I was convinced that he didn't love me, and my love dwindled for him. Our relationship became strained. Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumple's patients, and when she went to ask for the money he had originally offered, the two of them became intimate. Oh god, please tell me she didn't sleep with him for the money. That's really awful. But it was short-lived, and when the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with the soured reputation. I wanted to make it up to Rumple. I thought I could salvage this relationship, maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that was not my place. She sighs deeply and gestures at me. I share blame in all of this too, but so does Rumple. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with, because you're his partner, right? Bria hands you the bag of journals. Whoa, don't look so surprised. You came here for these, not to listen to me. I thought on it last night. I have no reason to keep them around, one that just continue to make me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's just easier to keep yourself than trust others. She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out and grabbing her hand. Bria, I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It is so much easier to close off the world. It is so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be balanced. That is what Rumple has taught me. And I want to teach him how to have balance too. You? You're falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him, even though you told yourself he was shallow and unrealistic. Ooh. I mean, girl has a point, you know what I mean? We can all hate her, but if that's the truth of what happened, then yeah, Rumple is to blame as well. It's not only her fault. My heart thumps once, loudly in my chest. Love? I can read it right off your face. I know how it feels too, but don't get wrapped up in that idea, little girl. That's my warning. If you can help him, actually help him, then you're meant to be together. But otherwise, trusting Rumple might only break your heart. I'm not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. My words trail off and I look at her helplessly. Bria surprises me by speaking up quietly. Thank you for listening to me. She pulls her hand away and slowly smiles. It's the first honest smile I've seen on her face. Well, I mean, it's good for her, then she can move on with her life, you know what I mean? So, I feel something warm in my chest and a bright light emanates from my necklace. This is our third deed, right? Or second one? A good deed? For listening to Bria? Or... I glanced out at the bag of journals, then down at my necklace. Second one, alrighty, yeah! We got the second good deed! I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. I have 2 good deeds now. Only one more and I can break my curse. Magic? Is this another Fairytale Curse? Yes. Your name was Lucette, wasn't it? Rumple talked about you fondly. I hope that you both break your curses. Good luck. Oh, that's nice of her to say. Like, she was being all mean earlier, but at least she's like, you know, being nice now, so that's good. People can change. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in town square. My mind swirls with everything she just told me. I still cannot bring myself to like Bria, but I feel more closure now. But now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumple? The more I say it, the more it becomes certainty. But rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. Can I think about this right now? I turn on my heels and head back, but I bump promptly into a man. Oh god. It's Varg again! Oh, sorry, madam. He smiles at me, and then keeps walking. Oh my god, was Fritz the one following us? Ooh, he might have been the one following Lucette. I stare at him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. With the mask and cloak, the man reminding me of a performer. I make my way back to the Martian with the bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering. Every time I think about Rumple being close to me or his kindness towards me, I feel jittery inside. Despite everything Bria said, I cannot stop these feelings. These feelings are annoying. Yet, as I think of that, I know it's not the full truth. Do I really? I hear the Martian door open and out steps Waltz. The minute he sees me, his eyes widen and turns towards me. Princess, where were you? I was running an errand. I hold up the bag, but it does little to ease Walt's frustration. We were all looking for you and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumple already went out into town. What? I'll go! Please, princess, stay inside. His expression softens somewhat until I can see that on his face is worry. I'll go get Rumpel. My mood feels completely dashed as I enter the Martian to whisper both relieved and disappointed. Surprisingly, I get away with just a lecture from Delorme Perfect. It seems more than there's something else on my mind, something that is likely involving the rumor circulating around town. I wait downstairs for a long time for Rumpel, but neither of him nor Waltz appears. Where are they? Oh shit. I retire to my room later as I wait for news. Waltz eventually returns, saying that Rumpel is still out because he had things he wanted to do. I had no idea what that means, but it's unsettling to me. Should I go find him? Oh, I think we should. Okay, let's go find him. I stand and stop for a few moments and then look at the bag of journals beside my bed. And here I was looking forward to giving these journals to him. I make my way towards the door, turn the knob, and then walk outside. Princess! Before I can even think about saying anything, I feel his warmth envelop me and I freeze. One of his hands moves to the small of my back, where it remains, and he smiles down at me. I caught you in time, my feisty sweet. Oh god. Did you plan on escaping into the dead of night again? Have wards abandoned you in the wake of my dramatic appearance? I hurriedly pry myself away from with a little gasp. A few steps back, I can see him in full, and I notice the bouquet he's carrying. I'm glad to see you back, princess. I'm only sorry that I couldn't make you back faster. I have a few errands of my own to run in town. Rumpel holds out the bouquet with a glittering smile. Like buying these flowers for the girl that I really like, for instance. I stare down at the beautiful bouquet, made up of white lilies, but the appearance slowly leaves my mind as I think of what Rumpel just said. He bought them for a girl he likes, not for me. My heart feels as if it might be pierced through with something sharp. My breath escapes my throat, but I cannot bring myself to inhale again. Rumpel looks at me alarmed. Lucette? I nudge him out of the way and walk past him. Ooh, yikes. I make my way to the reception area where I collapse onto one of the couches and sit, staring blankly at the wall. The feeling inside of me is too much all at once. I tell myself they do not make any sense, that the way I reacted to what Rumpel said was pitiful. And yet, I cannot stop myself from feeling small. I sink into the couch and close my eyes, willing away the sound of the rapid beating in my heart and tears stinging the edge of my eyes. I am not weak, I will not cry, Mother told me. But the thought of Mother makes my tears worse as soon as I am sinking further into the couch, trying to hide my tear-stained face in my hands. Mother, Bria, they both said the same things. And I, too, have seen bad in them. When I was on the streets, no one in AGirl showed me kindness. People will never show you kindness unless there's something in it for them. They will never. I feel a sudden warmth arm around me. I recognize the sensation, the warmth, the comfort. It's all too comforting, so soothing. I must be the worst person in the world. To make a beautiful lady cry is a sin that I must atone for. My body stiffens, but I do not pull away. I listen to the sound of his heartbeat against my ear, and slowly but surely my crying dies away. My eyes are sore by the time I finally manage to still the tears. I feel drowsiness descend upon me like a blanket, but I will not fall asleep. Slowly I pry myself from the arm holding me. Hello, my love. I messed up again, didn't I? God damn it, Rumpel! I do not see the bouquet in his hand, but a journal. One of the journals I brought back for him from Bria. You're capable of a lot more good than I am, princess. Just look at this. He reaches out and touches my necklace. I glance down at it. You got my journals back for me. I saw them in your room. And I feel it. This is the one. The most recent dated one. It's the one that I need to unlock my final memory. I gasp at the second, in complete glass slipper around my necklace and breathe out slowly. Then this is from retrieving Rumpel's journals for him? I got a good deed for finally doing something good for Rumpel. Would you allow me to read it with you? He reaches out and gently brushes a tear from my face. You did all of this for me, and you barely know anything about me. That makes both of us. If you wouldn't mind, I want to read out this entry for you. I nod even though I should be shaking my head. Even though I should be still hurt, I cannot stay mad at Rumpel. On this night I am a poor man. Everything that is precious to me has been stolen away by the witch. Rumpel's voice catches in his throat as he stares at the word. I look over his shoulder at the journal. Witch? Was he already cursed when he wrote this? But I have no one to blame but myself. Bria told me that I would suffer for my selflessness. And so now I find myself here. And now, because of the same selflessness, Bria is sick, and I cannot save her. Oh! Bria was sick. It wasn't the little boy. It was her. And then he doesn't have money to pay for medicine. Oh shit, that's what happened. Oh, that's fucked up. There's only one thing left to do. I have wronged Bria in so many ways, and I will give anything it takes to save her. No matter what the price the witch asks, I will pay for it. I only hope that Bria can forgive me before she leaves. I will write again when the witch has left. I swear the day after I will change for good. I will not ask the witch to perform any more miracles. Rumpel's finger goes to the page, where he softly touches a single word. His eyes are still glazed as he looks at them that they have before, and I can tell that his memories are snapping back together. For tonight, good night, and may tomorrow be a better morning. I read the last words, a name and a signature. Rumpel reads it out loud slowly. Chevalier Dumont. Your name is Chevalier? Chevalier? Or Chevalier? Because there's ways of pronouncing that, especially if it's a French name. Oh my god. Chevalier. I'm gonna say Chevalier because of ER at the end. He looks up at me, his eyes forlong, but then with sadness he speaks. That's right. It's so strange, it's just a different name, and yet it seems to change it completely. I remember everything now. I was given the Rumpelstiltskin curse because I sacrificed too much. First it was the boy, the one we saw in the market. I struck a deal with the woman to save him, a witch. He mentioned striking a deal with a woman, but a witch? Do not have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor? Is something wrong? That name just sounds familiar. See, I told you it was that one. It was kind of obvious, actually. The Witch Doctor? It's no wonder I recognize that name. But yes, it was her. She promised that she could heal the boy, but for a price. I had given her a family heirloom, my family's stethoscope. Next was the nobleman. I could not help him, as he lay on his bed dying. The witch visited again, and I gave her what she asked for. What did you give her? My engagement ring. Oh. Bria found out. She told me she'd never forgive me, but then she chased the nobleman to ask for the money we desperately needed, and... well, you know the rest. He gave away the things that were precious to him, all those to help people. Then Bria got sick. I made one last deal with the witch because I was desperate to save her life, but it wasn't until after she healed Bria that she told me what she wanted. She wanted your memories. I don't remember what happened exactly. I think I panicked because I suddenly lost my memories. I ran out into the alleyways, bumped my head into something, and fell unconscious. Then I woke up here in the tavern. I had no idea who I was or how I got in curse. Rumple, Chevalier's expression grows more somber. I deserve to be cursed after everything I have done. I was so selfish. An idealist maybe, but I hurt Bria because I refused to see the reality. I still deserve to be cursed, actually. But why? Because I am still selfish. Even having remembered everything that made me a bad person, I still desire something. Someone I shouldn't have. My heart plummets again as I look at him. I still want so badly to forge a future with someone I don't deserve. Because what am I other than a poor doctor? I am no knight in shining armor. I am no prince. He puts his hand on my cheek and leans closer. The distance between us closes in mere seconds. But still, I keep on dreaming because his finger gently caresses my cheek, and suddenly I know. I know what he's going to say before he even say it. Oh god, oh no. I think I'm gonna say you love me. I don't know if I want to say I love you. Make any sense? Oh fucking no. I do. I love you. But Chevalier smiles at me and puts his other hand on my back and pulls me closer. The smile is so genuine and so gentle. The same smile I had grown to love. Woo! Oh shit! Whoa! Hey! Alright, was that the right choice? I have no freaking idea. Whoa! Okay. Whatever words I have been meaning to say die in my throat as he leans forward and gently places his lips on mine. I feel more grounded than I have ever felt before, but I also feel like I am flying. Hang on 1 second! Wait 1 second! How old is Lucette in this? She's not 18 yet. I want to like this, but I can't. She's fucking underage. No, Rumpel, you could have like fucking waited till she was 18. Oh my god. Ugh. God damn it. Now this is ruined for me. I set my hands on my chest and flex my fingers into his shirt. He runs his fingers gently down my face and down the length of my neck. The kiss feels too short, yet I am breathless when Chevalier pulls away from me, just enough so that I can see his eyes. I love you, my sweet princess. For your smile and for your laugh, for the way that you look out for other people. You're bold and feisty, and you remind me of a firework. You're beautiful inside and out. The compliment warms my heart in the way that it makes me feel like it might be melting. He reaches behind me and holds out a bouquet from earlier. These are for you. You like lilies, don't you? I take the bouquet from him and bring it to my nose. These haven't always been my favorite flowers. How did you know? Also, I think I made the wrong choice, so let me just go back 1 second. Okay, let's say I love you. But I'm not... Whether you are Rumple or Chevalier, you are the same person. You do not need to be a knight or a prince. He accepted me for who I was, and he still does. Mother told me that humans were untrustworthy, but... Chevalier grins at me, and then it's similar to his previous smile that I know that he must have not changed. The first time I gave you the white chocolate flower, your eyes lit up. I figured that the Chevalier was perspective before, but this bouquet, in my hands, feels more meaningful now. Princess, I swear that I will Princess, I swear I want to try and change. For you. You should do it for yourself, too. Myself? That's the most important thing. Don't change yourself for other people. Change it for yourself, okay? That's more important. You should spoil yourself more, too. You always give to others, but you don't take for yourself. Now you know what you did, and you can change things. If Bria can, then so can I. Bria? I went to spoke to her when I was in town today, while I was getting the bouquet for you as a gift. We had talked about moving on. I didn't understand it fully, but I don't think she did either. But we've both agreed that we should. So I'm going to change what I can, Princess. As I promised that I'm going to help you break your curse, just as you helped me break mine. All the good things I have done are for you. That's true. But you've done a lot of good things too, even if they may not be big enough to count for your 3 good deeds. It just so happens that your curse is very picky. Good things. Even though I'm still at Kurt and say more hurtful things than not. I fingered the necklace on my neck and thought, maybe Chevalier is right. Maybe I've changed. And it is a good change. I sit closer to the Chevalier as the night goes on. He tells me a little bit about his past and I tell him about mine. About Mother and the palace. The night is not one for advice, just listening. And I remember what Chevalier told me once, that listening can be just as meaningful as advice, that listening to others can help you understand them. And he was right. See, like, I know it's supposed to be set in, like, olden times, and, like, back then, like, people would get married at a very young age, like, 13, 14 years old. I know that really sounds fucked up, but that was, like, normal back then. So, I'm trying to take in consideration that's pretty normal here. If she was 18 already, this wouldn't bother me. But she's under 18, so this is kind of weird. Anyway. Princess, are you okay? Oh, if it isn't the princess, are those dark circles under your eyes from a romantic night out, You were out with someone last night? No, they're from being woken up early by Delora to do chores. Delora grins at me from the other side of the bar, but says nothing as she goes back into conversation with another boarder. Darling, you're no fun at all. You must tell us what happened last night. Last night? Did you like the bouquet? How did you know about the bouquet? Well, because it was my suggestion. When Chevalier, I was asking Karma for advice. See, I told you! It was about me? Look at the way she smiled, Denise. Last night must have gone well. I'm confused. What happened last night? I'm going to get Rumple to give him all the juicy details when he comes downstairs. That is Chevalier to you. Chevalier appears behind Karma, smiling. He seems a lot calmer today than usual. He glances over Karma and me, and then we catch each other in a silent gaze. Seeing his eyes remind me of last night, which makes me inevitably flush. Chevalier just winks at me. Chevalier? What is that? Something you say when a person sneezes? No, that's his name. Rumple, that is. Chevalier broke his curse yesterday. There's a stunned silence from everyone in the immediate area, even Delora, who walks over to us. What is this about breaking curses? Was it you, Rumple? He's going by something that sounds like a fancy cake. Parfait seems to be bursting with excitement. She is her usual calm self on the outside. I can tell by the bounce in her step by the way she raises her voice to make an announcement that she is proud. When everyone learns that Chevalier has broken his curse, people come to the table offering drinks and congratulations. Chevalier gets lost in the crowd, mostly of women, but how much to my surprise, Chevalier does not flirt back with any of them. Oh, he's changing, that's good! But then, in between our celebrations for Chevalier, the door to the Martian opens and Waltz rushes inside. Where are Delore and Lady Perfette? I need to speak to them immediately. Waltz, you're just in time! Something has happened at the palace. Oh shit. The room goes quiet as Waltz's proclamation. A few people shift in uneasy in their chairs. Some try to go back to conversation. Most people do not care what happened in the palace, but they can tell by the tone of Waltz's voice this is bad. What happened at the palace? An uprising. Ooh, what? A coup, staged by the witches. Witches have taken over the palace. The information is so sudden it makes me dizzy. I reach out to grab the table and my hand lands on the wood before I can slip. Witches have taken over the palace? An army of them? No, only a few. Duran strides across the room, quickly followed by Garland. What about, is the witches taking over? We have some of the best knights in the palace! There's no way witches could break in under the palace guards, because Mythro is that little bitch and Alcaster. Unless they had someone helping them inside. Alcaster? No. Myth. Who are we talking about? You know him as Mythros. He uses a different name now. So Sir Mythros is the king's advisor. He's a witch? There's no way Mythros is a witch. Who would have known? Glamour. He used the glamour. Everything Waltz says suddenly gets swallowed up by questions. Duran and Garland ask question after question, while others start to surround Waltz to ask him what happened to the king and his children. I step closer to listen, but I cannot hear over the frantic voices in the room. Sir Mythos. I never trusted him, but I never thought he would be a witch. The room only quiets down when Delore and Perfect come to punctuate the conversation, with their own demands for everyone to give Waltz space. The Martian boarders are still taken into the reception room, where Waltz stands in attention, waiting to answer questions. He explains that he is looking into the rumor about Sir Mythos from only a few days ago, when he found out about the witches' uprising. It was a surprise attack orchestrated by Mythos, who let the witches in through the secret entrance at the palace. Alcaster was killed during the uprising. Oh damn, he's dead already? Many knights were injured and are currently being tended into the clinics and hospitals around the town. After his explanation, I feel even worse than I did in the main room. I stare at Waltz at a loss. What of Fritz? Fritz? Sir Alcaster's son! Fitzgerald! He was my personal knight. If Alcaster was killed during the uprising, where did that put Fritz? Was he working with Sir Alcaster or with Sir Mythos? Did he escape? I'm sorry, Princess, I haven't heard anything about a knight named Fitzgerald. Was he killed? No, please don't tell me he's dead again. Come on, that's really fucked up. He already died once. Can you just leave him alone? The thought makes my heart plummet. No, Fritz could not possibly be dead. I have to believe that he's still alive. I feel Chevalier's hand on my shoulder briefly before it slides off. Are there any knights remaining in the palace? If there are, they would have been either forced out or to turn against the king, or they've been killed. Sir Mythos sitting on the throne? No, he upsurred the king, but he hasn't taken the throne. Waltz turns to me and his expression softens. Princess, feel free to ask me whatever you want. I'm sorry I didn't answer all of your questions earlier. I have so many questions, but I suppose I will ask them one at a time. Okay. What happened to the king and the others? I'm not sure. From what I've heard, the king and his family, your family, are still alive. I never cared for anyone in my stepfamily, but hearing that they're okay is a relief. Mythos would be keeping them prisoner for now. Okay, what is the glamour that Sir Mythos used? Dolores steps up to answer the question. A glamour is a high-level magic used to conceal one's identity. It keeps even other witches from scenting you. Parfait cast the same magic on you shortly after you came to the tavern. It was to protect you from evil witches. A glamour can only be conjured by a powerful witch. It sounds as if this witch has been using glamour to hide himself from others. Do you know Mythos? It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher. Wait. Waltz, are you, a witch? Yeah. He smiles at me. He's like, yeah, I'm a witch. Like, deal with it. But it's a weak one, and it does not reach his eyes. Myth was always very competitive. I thought that he had died at the end of the Great War, but he's been in the palace this whole time. His disguise is so simple. I should have realized his name was so similar, but you couldn't have helped it. That's what the glamour does to you. Maybe if I wasn't cursed, if I had more magic, then I would have been able to sense him. Who has claimed the throne? As of right now, no one. The king has been kicked off the throne, and Mythos has made some public announcement about the upsuring the throne, but he doesn't call himself king. Is he trying to win the throne over for someone? Myth has no one left. He is obsessed with our teacher, but she is gone. Maybe he has a different alliances now? Parfait looks distant and stares dismissively down at the. She stares dismissively down at the ground. If my curse were broken, I would charge in right now and destroy him. Walt's expression becomes dark and sends a shiver through me. It isn't like Walt to look so angry. I know. I remember what Mythos is doing now. He's waiting for Lucette so that she can take the throne. We need to come up with a plan. Even if we weren't cursed, you wouldn't be able to defeat Mythos when the other witches are with him. Witches are trickier to handle. Can't we just blend through with a sword, eh? I agree with Karma. If all of us go in with swords and shields, we should be able to take the palace back. That's what we've been practicing for. Practicing. Even witches will die if you stick their sword through their heart, won't they? But getting to a witch, who knows, you're there is difficult. I must do something. I want to help. Is there anything I can do? Hang on. I want to help. Chevalier wraps his fingers around my wrist and Ed frowns. Princess? This whole time I have been living at the Martian, I was spared the fate of the royal family by sheer coincidence because I was cursed. Can I just sit here and do nothing while the kingdom falls to a witch? It fell to witches before, and there were dire consequences. Can I continue this to be passive? I will not let myself be like my mother. Princess, I am Lucette Riala Brighton, the crown princess of Angielle, and I will not stand by and watch the kingdom fall into turmoil. The room goes quiet in my statements. Chevalier's fingers loosen on my hand. I can see a ghost on the smile of his face, though it underlies his sorrow. Spoke like a true princess. Whether or not you want to help, Princess, you really can't. You won't be able to use magic until your 18th birthday. That's when you become that's when you become the bearer. Can't let that stop me. I will find a way. The conversation in the room continues to follow for a while. At some point, it says that the volunteers are needed at the hospitals and clinics for the injured soldiers. Chevalier immediately volunteers. Only after does he look at me with regret. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? For putting my job before you, and after all I just said. He told me that he was going to try his best to change. Bria called him selfless before for putting his work before her, but you would be a fool not to. My life is not in danger, and there are many people who need it more than I do. Do what you do best, Chevalier. Princess Lucette, I promise I will do whatever I can to help you as well. As the meeting disbands, I am left standing there in quiet. The last to leave is Waltz, who promised me that he will make things right. I'm going to trust everyone, but I'm not going to stand idle. I will make things right somehow, as is my responsibility as Crown Princess. Ooh, we're at the end, Chapter 9, The Witch's Puppet. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the episode here, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and we're gonna finally see the showdown with Mythos, because I know he's gonna be like, I offer you the throne, Princess Lucette, you can take it, and then I could serve you, because he thinks like, she's like her mother. Anyway, I'm glad that, now we've broken Rumpel's curse. It's just weird because of the age difference. That's just a little bit weird to me with the relationship. But other than that, it's nice to see that Bria kind of has some redemption, because I know she's a hated character, but like, at least there's some redemption for her, you know what I mean? And there's some redemption for Lucette too, because now she finally turned around and she's like, I'm not gonna be like my mom, so that's good. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe to join the companions, and if you'd like to help support the channel on Patreon, there's a link in the description. You get early access to videos are Patreon only, the Discord server to come talk to me, and a bunch of other stuff. Or if you'd like to check out the other links that will help the channel, like my store, for instance, I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Okay.
Are you okay, dear?
Whoa, I am now. Sorry, that just took me by surprise. Alright, I'm okay. He kisses my stomach while his fingers tease the edges of my...